The big showdown between the Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max versus the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And not a traditional versus. Look, you really can't even go spec for spec here because you're comparing Android to Apple. There's a bunch of different things at play here. We'll talk about some of the comparables, but really, you're talking top of the line for both. You're talking two companies that have absolutely hit their stride in terms of what they do, what they offer, software optimization. So you're getting the premium build in both fantastic. I know it's still stainless steel over here on the left with the S23 Ultra, but the S24 Ultra, by all reports, is going to move over to titanium as well. So that's not going to be an advantage for long, if you even consider it to be an advantage. Lots of people complain about the fact that titanium is a little bit of softer metal and has flexes differently, and that maybe causes some breakage on the glass in the back, which you would not get on something like a stainless steel band like on the S23 Ultra. But both are premium. Let's just put it that way. In the hand, both feel fantastic. You understand, or you at least acknowledge, you give a slight nod to the fact that you're paying $1,200 for both of these. Displays, also both fantastic. You're talking some really great panels. In fact, I think Samsung might even make the panels for a lot of the iPhones. But this is a little bit dimmer right now, only because of the brightness settings. Let's see if we could turn that up a little bit, crank it all the way up. Turn it on. No, not all the brightness. Crank that up. Yeah, really nice displays, good contrast, a good color, a good saturation on both. Neither one is going to have a problem. And performance. You're talking top of the line on both. And what's great is now, for the first time in years, or at least the last year or two, I think that Samsung, with the Galaxy, the top, the Ultra, running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, can absolutely go toe-to-toe, both in software optimization and performance with the iPhone. No longer is the Apple iPhone known as the only one that could provide a silky smooth experience, because on the Android side, I think One UI 5.1 was the best optimized. I think the Gen 2 was a fantastic chip. They married them well. Overall, silky smooth performance. This is the best Android that I've ever used performance-wise, and I think that really brings it on an equal footing with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Both fantastic performers, so you're not going to see a lot of difference there. It really comes down to which ecosystem are you currently married to, because I don't really see a reason why either modern release or either most current release would cause you to switch to the other. It's not like Apple fumbled so hard with the iPhone 15 Pro Max and you're like, you know what? It's finally time, jump ship, got to try out Android. It's not like Samsung fumbled so hard with the S23 Ultra. It's like, you know what? I am done with Android. Forget it. Samsung, I don't want a Pixel. I'm going to the Apple ecosystem. Neither one is going to get you to change sides. If you're a fan of one or the other, these are both going to give you reasons to continue liking your preferred manufacturer. Battery life, different story. Not the same. I know you see those videos where they'll start a video or they'll start one of those benchmark programs and leave them for 10 hours. And it's like, well, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, yeah, it wins, but it only wins by like 10 minutes over the S23 Ultra. That's not real world experience. Trust me, it's nothing like what it's like when you're using it on a day-to-day basis. The iPhone 15 Pro Max has better battery life than the S23 Ultra. Significantly better. Hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, depending on what you're doing. Not just watching video. Yeah, if you put on a video or something like that, yeah, I'm sure you could get these two to be comparable battery life-wise. But if you're doing stuff, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, all the way down the line, the mix of those apps lasts longer on the iPhone than it does on the S23 Ultra. S23 Ultra, phenomenal battery life. The best on a Galaxy or an Android flagship that I've seen in a while with the big boys. You know, I've seen better battery life on Androids, but typically they have some compromises somewhere along the line. As far as the full up, $1,200, best of the best, this is the best battery life that I've seen for a while. 7.5 hours of screen on time, which is fantastic. You're not going to need more than that. If you need more than that without topping off, then consider your life choices. I don't know what to tell you. But if for some reason that makes a huge difference for you, and that's your buying spec, and that's the thing that you point to, and you're not biased by anything, and you say, you know what, I am completely ecosystem independent, well, then I'm going to tell you that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the better choice in terms of battery life. Then we come to the camera systems. And look, I don't know what happened. There's obviously some sort of philosophy change with Samsung over the past few years. Because what would happen was Samsung was the one that gave you the punchy, saturated, vibrant image. And whether that was color accurate or not is a different story. But that's what they gave you. Now, it seems like they've completely gone, not quite the pixel route, but they give you a toned down, natural image. We're going to put some comparisons side by side up here now. These were both taken at the same time, and you can see the photos. A little different, right? Not quite the same as it has been in past years. I would have confused, if you had shown me these two images X years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I would have swore that the one coming out of the iPhone was actually the Galaxy image and not the other way around. So, and some people that might be buying a bonus, a positive, saying, hey, I want more. I'm an artist. I'm a photographer. I could change things in post if I need it. Give me the image as it looks, and I'll do what I need to do afterwards. That might be you, but for point and shoot, these are the results that you get. Zooms. Obviously, you're getting 10x. The periscope, which is odd that they might be pulling back from that on the S24 Ultra, but that's not a here nor there at the moment, but that's strange. So 10x, optical, 5x. Just for fun, I went digital zoom on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, pulled it out to 10, used the optical 10 on the S23 Ultra, and this was the result. So you can decide whether that 5x is worth it to you, the extra 5x is worth it to you in terms of the result that you get. But I will say that at 10x, Apple's processing and the photo looks pretty darn good in comparison to the regular just 10x optical. So I think they did an excellent job there. Then the most important thing when you're talking about either one of these two devices, slightly bigger display over here, 6.8 versus 6.7. You get the S Pen. That's something that that's binary, right? You either need it or you don't. If you need it, then you're not looking anywhere else, because really this is the only game in town where you're talking top tier flagship experience with a pen. You're looking at the S23 Ultra. If you don't need a pen, then it's a different story. It's an ecosystem thing. I think, and this might get me in a little bit of trouble, I think that Samsung, while they have the best optimized software in the business, One UI 6 is probably going to be fantastic. Ecosystem-wise, the entire package, it might not matter to you. You might not wear a smartwatch. You might not care about tablet. You might not care about any of that other stuff, okay? Ecosystem-wise, I think Samsung is falling behind Google and Apple a little bit. That presentation on Tuesday, for Google, whatever happens with the Pixel ecosystem is taking shape. You could see the coherency there between the watch and AI and the software and the phone and everything that they're trying to do. I don't see that yet on the Samsung side. So if the entire package matters to you, if you need the watch, if you need the tablet, if you need the buds, if you need all that stuff down the line, and you want to get immersed in something, and you want to say, you know what, I want to build out my tech experience from the phone as the center and build on out, I do believe the Apple is the slightly better choice at this point. The Galaxy Watch is fantastic. The Galaxy Buds are good. There's a lot of stuff to like on the Samsung side, but I still feel like Samsung's ecosystem, Samsung software, I could swap this out for a Sony or an LG from back in the day and kind of keep moving. Whereas I don't feel like I could do that with Pixel and Apple anymore, if that makes sense to you. Either way, both phenomenal devices. Both devices you're going to want to use. If, like I said, if you're on the Android side, this isn't going to change any minds. This is fantastic. This is the absolute apex predator, the phone that if you are okay spending the money and you love Android, you should be getting. Same over here. This isn't going to change any minds. This isn't going to, it doesn't set the world on fire, but it's a pretty darn good upgrade if you're in the Apple ecosystem, if you're on that 3-year upgrade cycle, if that's how you kind of go with your phones and you've been doing that for years and you carry or pay all the rest of it, this is absolutely the Apple that you should be picking up. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have the Steve-licious day.